Bonjour, bonsoir, buenos dias, buenas noches. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about Catfish. This is Erika and Jermaine. So in this episode, there was someone who called on behalf of his sister. His name was Aaron. He's a truck driver. And he felt like his sister was being catfished, so he decided to call the show. The guy's name that he's talking about is Jermaine, who lives in, I believe he lived in LA. Yeah. He was supposedly living in LA. And it just so happened that when they called up Erika, his sister and everything, she just so happens to be in LA at that moment. So it made everything a lot easier because they're in LA. You know, the show is based out in LA. And she was actually looking at places to possibly move to in order to be closer to this guy who she's, you know, forming a relationship with, or she's in a relationship with, or dating, or whatever you want to call it, internet dating, because it wasn't real dating. So she's been single since 2006 when she was engaged. So yeah. She met this guy online in 2019 and he saw her photos and he said that, you know, he thinks she looks good and stuff like that. So, you know, from there they kind of hit it off. They was talking back and forth and it was a thing ever since 2019, which was during the pandemic and all of that. She actually ended up having ovarian cancer, and he was somebody that helped her through everything that she was going through, which was great. The things about him that's red flags is that he doesn't answer the phone at certain times, but he does text her and say, you know, I'm a little busy right now, I'll call you back later or whatever. So there is good communication, but he doesn't FaceTime her, he doesn't send her videos, so they're still not really sure if everything is real or not. He supposedly even came to New Orleans where she lives and he didn't even see her. He said that he was like pretty much too busy and he had things going on, so he wasn't able to meet her. So of course she was pissed off about that. She said she stopped talking to him for a few days and now she's in LA. He says that he's out in Dallas. So it's like, wait, what? Like, I come over here and you somewhere else. Like, that's crazy. So yeah. They look him up. He looks like he's really legitimately an actor based off the information that they put in the computer system or whatever. The photos seem to be real. The Instagram seemed to be real, but the Facebook didn't have a lot of friends, didn't have as much activity. So it could have been possible that maybe the Facebook was somebody else trying to pretend to be this person from Instagram who is a real person. It's, you know, that's always possible. So they reach out to one of the friends from Facebook, I believe it was Facebook, and he said something about, I mean, he was a W friend because he wasn't really giving out too much information. You know, like, nah, I ain't giving out no information about my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to talk to him if you want to find out something. But he was like, he might be at his kid's mom and they having problems. So, like, you didn't even have to say all that. Like, you said a little bit too much, but you kept it pretty good for the most part. So yeah, that was a little odd to them, like kids and mother, like what is that all about? So Neve and Cammy, they tell Erika everything that they found out, and they just go ahead and message him to try to see what's the next step, you know what I mean? And he said he didn't understand why Erika would need help for them to meet up. Like, bro, like, y'all been trying to meet up and nothing's happened. So obviously she needs a little reinforcement here, you know, make sure you're a real person so that she can move on with her life and stop holding on and waiting for you. So now he says that he lives in Texas. And he said he'll just go ahead and book his own flight. I don't know if that was a pride thing to show he had money or he just didn't want to give them his information, but it seemed a little weird, but it was like, all right, let him do what he do. So at least it was good because he was willing to fly out to LA to come and see them. So they pull up at the place that he told them and they meet him at the spot. And lo and behold, it was actually him, which was great. But he's mentioned that he owns a house in Texas, but he is in LA a lot and kind of lives in LA too, I believe he said. He also said that he didn't do FaceTime because he felt like they didn't need it because they had such a good connection. I'm like, but dude, like, she still want to kind of, at least that's a little bit closer to seeing somebody in person. You could do a little, you know, sex video chats and stuff like that. You know, you could do a lot of stuff on FaceTime as opposed to like just doing it all FaceTime. Like, I'm not a big FaceTime person, but we can do it here and there. But like, I like to multitask. So like, and I also don't like to be rude. So if I'm looking at you, I want to be able to look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of other stuff if I'm supposed to be videoing, because I feel like there's no point of videoing if I'm doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But if I'm talking on the phone, like, I could have my Bluetooth, be walking around the house. You won't even know what I'm doing as long as I'm listening and I'm acknowledging the things that you're saying. That's just me though. But I be seeing like my son and my daughter, like, they just be talking to people on these FaceTimes and video chats and stuff like that. They be having it at the ceiling. And I'm like, what is the point of doing this if you're not even seeing each other? Like, I don't get it, but whatever. Gen Z, I see you. But anyway, so that was that as far as the whole not doing the video stuff. So they asked him if he's married with kids. He said, nah, I don't got no kids. Like, he said that he's not married at all. And so they mentioned what the friend had said. And he was like, nah, you know, he was in a relationship with someone who had kids and that went bad. And it comes to find out that he just ended that relationship like a year ago. But mind you, he was with Erika since 2019. So that already was a little bit of a lie right there. You know, he didn't tell her that he was still in the relationship while he was starting to build something with her. So that's crazy. Then they say, so you don't have any kid, right? And he's like, oh, I do have a son. He's like, I have one kid. They're like, we asked you that and you said no. He's like, no, you said, do I have kids? I'm like, here we go. Like, dude is really playing with words on some 48 laws of power right now. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I know how to play with words. So, because you ain't never going to call me a liar. I'm going to be like, actually, what you said was this. And what I answered was this. So, I get where he's coming from, but it's still, come on, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure she's asked you many times if you have a child, if you have children. Maybe she said children. So, that's why he's like, nah, you didn't ask me before. She's like, I've asked you more than once, you know, if you have a child, if you have children, and you said no. You know, come to find out he got a whole 17-year-old. I mean, at least the great thing about it is that the child's older, so there's not much care that has to be provided. He's about to be 18, might be going to college or whatever it is. You know, he said that he does take care of his child and things like that. But she wasn't really too fond of the fact that it's almost like you denying your child because you're not loud and proud saying it. Like, that's information that, for the most part, you should be willing to just, no one should even have to ask you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a new relationship. You don't want to divulge everything, but that's something I feel like is important, especially if you're trying to build something for real, because this person could possibly be a stepmother to another child, you know, or there could possibly be some baby mama drama or whatever that you have to deal with. So these are things that somebody should know. And some people just don't want to deal with other people who have children, regardless of the age that it is, because they're like, I want to be your first, I want to be your only. I mean, that's they're entitled to feel that way, you know, or desire those things. He did say going forward that he'll be honest with her, and he does feel like they're a perfect match and that he's going to put in more effort. So, you know, fast forward, they do a little recap. She tells us that, you know, right now he's still in her life as a friend. She ain't gonna throw him away, but he hasn't really stepped up to the plate and done anything that he said he was going to do. So, yeah, she says she's moving on. Who knows what will happen in the future, but as of right now, she's good, because people make time for the things that are important to them. And that is so true. If he really wanted to see her, he can make sure he sees her. He said he was going to drive, he was going to fly, he was going to do all these things, but you're not actually putting your money where your mouth is. So at least she sees, like, you know what, he doesn't really care about me the way he says. You know, who knows? He could be flirting with other girls doing the same thing, you know, all around the globe. Who knows? Because, I mean, once a person lies, for me at least, it's hard to look at them differently until they start consistently showing me differently. You know, like, and it'll take a long time because I don't even trust people straight off the bat to begin with. You know, like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent. You know, I ain't just going to be like, you're a liar, you know, but I also, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you could be a liar, you know, or everything you said, until I verify the things that you said, like, I don't know if it's true, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to say you're a liar, but I don't know if that's real. you know? And yeah, that's pretty much like, that's what he was showing her. And even up to that day, he was showing her that he couldn't do what he said he was going to do. And he was talking about some, you know, he made it, I feel like when he came on and did his recap, he kind of made it sound like he was trying. But she already let us know he wasn't really doing nothing. You know, like, oh, you know, I don't, you know, what we could have been and this and that. Like, nah, you couldn't have been nothing if you're not putting in that work. Like, it's not going to happen magically. You know what I'm saying? Like, internet dating ain't everything. So, I mean, that's it, y'all. That's the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.